You remember the wax with literally they had liquid in the wax, and you would pop it and you drink the liquid.
Yeah, it was a bottle. It was a little fake bottle, like tiny
Little
bottle.
fake bottle, right? And then
Yeah,
you chew the wax afterwards because it kind of tasted like the liquid still.
I
How was
remember.
that safe? Was it? It was. What was it made of? Was it real wax?
I uh, I have to look it up. It's been so long.
What the hell were they selling us?
Welcome to Top 5 with Joey Cassata. Starring Joey Cassata.
Team Jesus, my friend.
No!
Am I walking around park?
Co-starring Ernie Palooza. Now here's your host, Joey Cassata.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Top 5. I'm your host, Joey Cassata.
And I'm Willy Wonka. Welcome, everybody.
You look like you know what? That's actually a pretty good name for you. You look like a Willy Wonka.
I feel like one.
So today we have a great topic for you. We're going to be listing our top 5 favorite candies. Now, before we go into it, we're excluding all chocolate. And why don't you tell them why we're excluding chocolate, Ern?
I happen to have a bit of a food allergy to all dairy. Actually, it's more than a bit. It's the real deal. I never had dairy in my life. I die.
So there's been a couple instances over the years. I know Ernie, 30 years, over 30 years, and there's been a couple of circumstances where Ernie has accidentally ingested some kind of dairy, unknowing, and he'll always have some kind of weird reaction. So there's this one time we were away in Florida at Fort Lauderdale, like on spring break, and we were out at the bar drinking and stuff, and I think maybe we took 2 cabs home, right? Me and one of our former guests, the Dr. Tom Snyder was in a cab with me, and you were with our friend Bobby Balls, I believe, right?
Yep. The chili dog thing.
What?
Is this the chili dog story?
This is applesauce coming.
Applesauce, yes.
So, Ernie, so we get back to the hotel. Tommy and I are, kind of getting ready for bed, and we're relaxing. And Ernie comes busting through the door with his high-pitched screech, screaming at the top of his lungs, applesauce, applesauce. And,
Yep.
Tommy and I are in a panic. His face is swollen at this point. He looks a little like that. And he's screaming, applesauce, applesauce. And he's throwing things around the room frantically, opening every drawer. He's even starting to vomit a little at this point, right?
Yeah, that's one of the symptoms sometimes, yeah.
So I don't know if he's panicked. We don't know what's going on. All we know is applesauce. We think applesauce is the cure. So he's screaming, applesauce. So we're looking around the room. We don't know why there would be applesauce in the room, of course, but he's obviously looking for it. So we're looking for the applesauce everywhere. I'm calling the front desk for applesauce. We're flipping out. Finally, he gets one of those little, I guess, like travel applesauces, right, Ern?
Yep.
He had it in his luggage, and he gets the applesauce, and he pulls out a pill about that big. I think a Benadryl pill.
Benadryl, yeah.
It must have been the size of the head of a pin. The applesauce was not the cure. The Benadryl was the cure. But Ernie, being the psychopath that he is, cannot swallow a pill without it being in applesauce first, like a 3-year-old.
You put it like that, it sounds so silly.
We thought you were going to die unless you got your applesauce. You had the cure the whole time. All you had to do is take it. But you're screaming for applesauce. You can't take a drink of water?
I can't swallow pills.
But just to set it up, earlier that night, we went out for steak dinners, and Ernie was swallowing chunks of steak this big. You could actually see the steak going down his throat like a snake,
Like the Flintstones.
like the Flintstones. Okay, but he can't swallow a pill this big.
Oi,
Okay,
I survived.
I wanted to set up the reason why we are not including chocolate in today's list of favorite candies because Ernie has never tasted a chocolate bar in his life.
That was life before EpiPen.
Yeah, you're right. So you just had the Benadryl, and I mean, I wish.
Yep.
Oh God, I wish I would have had an EpiPen. I would have drilled it right into your neck.
Well, that's
Cool. Yeah, it is cool. They say it can puncture the skin of a rhino from 100. Ow! Oh! Oh! Yes! That's awesome! What? You just took one in the jugular, man! Ha. Whoa! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god, I did. Is this bad? Is this bad?
You should pull that out. That shit is not cool. Wait. Wait. Pull what out? The dart, man. Got a fucking dart in your neck. You're crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
it's like a horror movie moment.
Applesauce. We were panicking. We thought our friend was going to die unless he had his applesauce. And meanwhile, he's holding the pill the whole time in his hands, in his meaty little hands.
I don't remember you panicking that much.
We were more nervous because you were starting to throw up all over the room.
Yeah.
I remember you actually throwing up in drawers and closing drawers.
I was embarrassed that you'll find it.
We were going to find it either way, just so you know. All right, so let's before we start our list today, I did want to mention a couple things. We have new top 5 with Joey Cassata merchandise out there for you guys. It's on Amazon.com. I'm going to be posting a contest, so I think it would be fun to have a little contest. The first person that takes a picture of themselves with our top 5 t-shirt on and posts it on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and tags us in it, the first one we see, and we'll try to backtrack dating it, who posted first and stuff. First person we see that posts a picture of the top 5 t-shirt on themselves on one of our social media sites, tagging both of us in it, will not only get to choose a topic of the week with us, but we will have you on as our guest star. What do you think, Ern?
Oh wow, that'd be cool.
Be fun, right?
Yeah.
So anyone out there, again, Amazon.com, just type in, it might not come up with top 5 because there's a lot of top 5 stuff going on. So just type in Joey Cassata. It'll come up. There's some Z-Rock merch up there and Joey-licious and, all my stuff. But you'll find a top 5 with Joey Cassata t-shirt. Order it. They're like $15.99, I think. They're really cool. I got a couple of them already. And post a picture of yourself on social media. And the first person we see, and we'll backtrack the dates that we see on social media with the t-shirt, will be on our show and get to choose the topic that week.
That sounds
That's pretty good prize. It's a good prize, right?
I think people are gonna be jumping for it.
Especially, that's why I wanted to say it, because I know there's a lot of Ernomites out there,
Well, God.
down under, that Ernie has a fan base in Australia we're hearing about called the Ernomites, and
Hello, Australia.
we know they love him. So if you want to come on and talk to the infamous applesauce eater himself, Ernie Palooza, buy that t-shirt and post it on social media. All right, Ern, let's get to our top 5 favorite candies. You're up.
Here we go. My number 5. Spree.
Ooh.
Actually, I kind of kept going back and forth between Spree and Sweet Tarts and bottle caps. I even wanted to throw wacky wafers, but I can't even find them. I don't even remember. I remember loving them when I was little, but I can't find them now.
But was Wacky Wafers gum?
No, it was this long plastic, and it had different flavors like sour apple. It was like there was a lemon, a banana. It was like a huge sweetheart. Thin one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
But I
Spree,
couldn't find them.
if I remember correctly, Spree, when you chewed it, it almost had like a weird texture to it, right?
Yep.
Yes.
A thing we used to do on my block with Spree is take all the red ones, switch them around in your mouth, chew them a little, and then have a friend punch you right in the mouth. Then you spit it. Then you spit it all out. It looks like broken teeth and blood. Good times. Good times.
And there's a chance some of them were actually broken teeth and blood, right? Mixed in with the Spree.
That's part of the fun. It's like Russian roulette of sorts.
Great choice. Spree is something that I haven't had in a long time. Again, I say it all the time. That's why I love doing this show, especially with you. I'm going to go out and get Spree tomorrow because I haven't had one. I haven't even thought about Spree in I can't even tell you how long. Nice choice. Nice choice.
Thank you.
All right, so my number 5, and you know, just like we always go, Ern, most of this stuff is going to be all retro stuff because candy when we were kids, you know, when I went to school as a kid, I would get $1 a day or whatever I would get, and I'd always hit the local little deli on the way to school and get either, you know, one of those little quarter drinks. Remember the quarter drinks?
Oh yeah.
The color drinks.
Put the straw through it.
Yeah, put the straw right through. Or we used to even put a little pinhole in it, and then you could squirt it, and it would like shoot.
Yep.
And I would get one of those, and I'd get, you know, maybe a bag of chips and some candy. And one of my go-to candies was my number 5 pick, Fun Dip.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fun Dip was, believe it or not, some people think I'm crazy. I actually used to like the sticks better than the sugar dip. And I would always run out of, because I would want to eat the sticks before I would finish the dip. So I would wind up just, you know, chugging the powder, the sugar, because I would eat the sticks first.
Oh, do you like the stick? That's real interesting. All right. Great.
Nice. Good work. What did we just talk about? So Fun Dip, that's my number 5 again. I think what did they usually hit? They had 3 flavors, usually like a cherry, a grape, and a strawberry, maybe? I don't remember. It was always 3 flavors or 2?
It was 2 at the beginning, but then they started coming out with 3. I think a third was lime, maybe. No?
Oh, maybe you're right, yeah. All right, Ern, you're number 4. Give it to us.
You talk about them all being retro. This is not really that retro, this one. Number 4, Planters Peanut Bars.
Oh, my God.
As you know, Joey,
Oh, I know.
I can't eat these anymore because I can't awaken that addiction inside of me. It's a dark place to be.
So again, let me explain to people who don't understand what you're talking about. Ernie, because he doesn't have this sweet stuff in his life like chocolate, and he can't eat cookies and he can't eat ice cream, and because of his allergies, when he finds something in that, you know, area that he can eat because it's dairy free, he eats so much of it that he gets sick for a month. And what happened with the peanut bars?
Well, I think somebody, I don't know if you remember this person, Madeline.
I think she's called my wife, Ern, just so you know.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that. She kept giving me more and more of them for some reason when I kept saying no more. But she feeding the monster inside of me.
I think we were actually in like the ER waiting room, weren't we?
We were there for some reason. But
Madeline wasn't feeling good. We were in the Hamptons. Madeline wasn't feeling good. We were in the ER, and in the machine there was the peanut bars, I think, and we kept giving them to you because you were losing your mind. Was that the very first time you ever had them?
No, but I mean I had them younger, but I was doing it just because it was making her happy.
What happened when the time you found out that you could have Vienna finger cookies?
Oh, I finished the whole huge package in one sitting.
And then what?
And then I had to visit the restroom for a while.
What'd you have?
What do you mean?
You know the old song, diarrhea,
Oh.
diarrhea. When you're walking down the hall and you feel something fall, diarrhea.
Probably.
What did your insides used to do? He used to explain it to me in scientific
Okay.
terms. Good
All
pick.
right, come
I
on, you
forgot
go.
about that. That's a great pick. I probably would have had that on my list because I wasn't thinking along those lines because we cut out chocolate. I didn't even think of that, but that probably would have made my list. That's a great one. Payday, peanut bars, all that stuff. I didn't even think of along those lines. Nice one.
Thank you.
All right, so my number 4 pick is something that most people that I don't know why I find hate. And I'm going with black jelly beans.
Hmm.
Big fan, always a big fan. When I was coming up with my list, I told my wife, I said, I think that's why I love Zambuca so much, because I love black jelly beans. She said, oh, no, 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 no. You love black jelly beans because they taste like Zambuca. Don't kid yourself. And she's probably right. I probably had Zambuca way before I ever tasted a black jelly bean in my life. I probably had Zambuca when I was 12 years old. So um,
Did you like that black jelly beans as a kid?
I honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember. I think I did. I think, Easter baskets and stuff like that. I loved, yeah, I think I loved black jelly bean. Even, I don't want to give away one of your picks, but oh my God, what was it called? The package of candy with the 5 colors. There was always
Chuckles.
the Chuckles. I always loved the black Chuckle the best.
Huh. That's amazing.
Yeah, love black jelly beans. I am not a big fan of black licorice. I like it, but black jelly beans, black flavored licorice candy, I absolutely love. And of course, as you know, big fan of Zambuca.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
All right, Aaron, you're number 3.
My number 3, sour apple blow pops.
Ooh. Blow pops almost made my list. Not the sour apple ones, but
I was thinking, in our Hamptons days, my wife, well, girlfriend at the time, used to bring blow pops to the barn to counter the miserable taste of the cheap beer from those disgusting unwashed taps that they had. And we were talking about it earlier. She kind of invented the candy chaser.
I didn't even remember that until you just said it. You're so right. For people who don't know what we're talking about, there was a bar in the Hamptons called the Bordy Barn. It's still there. Every single year, we hear of a notice of the town trying to close it down because it's so disgusting, and the people who go there, like us, were so disgusting. And they used to have these kegs, and what were the beers, like not even $1 each, whatever. We used to get hundreds and hundreds at a time, but it always had this kind of weird taste to it. And we realized, one of the bartenders that we knew, that not that worked there, but Shay, told us it's because the taps are so dirty. And it's we even get more drunk than usual, maybe because of the bacteria, right? Something
Yeah, we're
disgusting.
hallucinating.
Right, it was almost like magic mushrooms or something,
Yeah.
because the taps were so dirty.
The beer was probably helping.
You're right. It was probably, watering down the bacteria.
Yeah.
But right, so Colleen, your lovely wife, would always bring blow pops, and we almost couldn't go without them after a while, right?
Oh, she was known for it. That
Yeah.
and the glitter.
All the glitter. I mean, if I could find some glitter pictures, we used to get all glittered up, and it was a whole to do. It was a lot of good time. Put it that
A
way.
whole to do.
Not a half a to do. Whole to do.
Truth be told, if we are going on a long drive nowadays, she keeps some in the glove compartment for me in case I start zoning out while driving.
Wait a minute. Does the blow pop keep you up?
Yeah. You stick
Why,
one of those
'cause
in your mouth, it
You have
works
to
great.
concentrate on chewing or sucking? Don't ask.
Sugar.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Not sure where you're going, but yeah.
I don't. Moving on.
Yes.
My number 3. So this is still one of my all-time favorite. I always go back and forth of the actual flavor, but much like one of my favorite movies ever, Stand By Me, when asked, "What's if you could only have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?" Cherry flavored Pez.
If I can only have one food for the rest of my life, that's easy. Pez. Cherry flavored Pez. No question about it.
Of course. And that's one of the answers that he answers in Stand By Me. It's a classic. I don't know if cherry would be the flavor I'd pick. There's a strawberry flavor I like better. I might even like grape better. But my number 3 choice is Pez. Love it, love it, love it.
I didn't even think of them. I love Pez too. It didn't make my list because I just didn't think of it. I would go with grape or lemon as far as Pez goes, but the
Yeah,
flavors.
I don't love lemon. I like all flavors, even the orange, the lemon. I like all of them because they have that Pez taste. But
Yep.
yeah, I gravitate towards grape and strawberry, I think.
Grape is real good. Strawberry I don't remember liking so much, but grape I love.
They're just so good. I mean, I very rarely do I even bother putting them in the dispenser. I just pop that whole pack open, go bink right in.
That's a great choice. I missed that one.
Thank you, sir.
Good one.
You're number 2. Hit it.
Well, it's one of these moments that I hate. Number 2 was Chuckles.
Oh. Even when I don't pick it, I ruin your picks. I love it.
For anybody who doesn't know Chuckles, there was a package of 5 different flavored jelly candies, but only old people and Joey like the black licorice one. Here's something interesting. A coworker last year got me a big box of these, and now that I'm old, guess what?
You like the black?
I love the black one too now.
Yes. The black is so delicious. It reminds you of Zambuca. I know it does.
That's why I was asking, did you like it when you were young though? Because it's an age thing. Only old people like that flavor.
I love it. I'm old at heart, Ernie, and my taste buds.
All right, you're number 2.
Yeah, Chuckles are great. But even with Chuckles, I always love the black. I like the red a lot. The green and the yellow, I could do without. Is that all of them?
Orange.
Orange too. Yeah. I'd rather go for just, plain. Well, I'm not going to ruin another one on you. I'm not saying it. Never mind.
I don't want to say it, but you already did. But anyway, we'll move on.
And just so you know, you mentioned the one I'm about to say earlier too, you son of a bitch. But I'm going to say my number 2 pick is, I was back and forth with making this number 1 or number 2. And the only reason I didn't, because there's a couple flavors in this box or bag, depending on how you get it, that I like, but I don't love. But if I could only buy the flavors that I love, this would have been my number 1. And that is bottle caps. You mentioned it earlier. Love the root beer. The root beer bottle cap might be my favorite all-time candy, period. But you can't buy a whole thing of root beer, which if bottle caps, if you're listening to me, sell only the root beer, goddammit.
100% root beer is the flavor.
100%. I mean, is there like a cola one too, or what's the other?
It's hard to tell the root beer and the cola apart, actually, when we look at them.
Is there also, what are there 3 brown ones or just 2?
There's root beer, there's cola, there's orange. And that's all I can think.
Cherry, grape.
I would have to see, but it's a great candy. I love them all, but root beer is the best.
Me too. I love them all. But if I know when I pour them into my hand, if I get a handful of mostly brown ones, root beer ones, or even the cola ones too, I'm very happy. So that's my number 2. Love bottle caps.
I respect that choice very much.
I even give for my brother every single year for Christmas, probably for the last 20 years, I give him a pack of like 6 or 7 boxes of bottle caps every year. I wrap it up as a gift. He loves them too. All right, Aaron. A little honorable mention time. How many you want to do? What do you want? Let's just rattle off a couple.
All right, my first honorable mention, I'll have to go with Swedish fish.
Yeah, it's my wife's favorite.
They're good, but they're stay in your teeth for a month.
Yeah, you have a cavity, that bad boy's coming out with a strong Swedish fish. You pull it right out.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? You know what they call Swedish fish in Sweden?
What?
Fish.
That's why he's loved by the Australian people right there, my friends. That's why the fan club, the Ernites, exists right there.
Hey,
Comedy humor. I'll give you one more honorable mention. I'll do two also.
I would go with sweethearts.
Yeah, I was never a big sweet tart guy. I'm gonna. You know what? I don't want to ruin another one on you, but you know what? The hell with you. What do you like better, the sweet tarts or the Smarties? You remember Smarties?
I like Smarties, but I like sweet tarts better.
But they are different, right?
Yeah, well, it's more tart. The sweet tart. It's more. It makes your mouth pucker up more.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. I'm not a big tart guy. I don't like sour stuff. Like even the blow pops, I gravitate towards the strawberry or the watermelon or the grape or something like that. I never was into the sour apple stuff. All right, so I got a couple honorable mentions. So there's a mint that I love, and these are gross for most people too. I have weird taste buds, I guess. They're Canada mints. They're pink mints. I don't know if you've ever seen them before.
Never
And
heard of
it literally says Canada right on them. And they're delicious. They're so strong, but there's like the texture of the mint. It like melts in your mouth. It's wonderful. And oh my God, I have a couple here. My other honorable mention, and hopefully this is your number one, which it might be, is Runts. Big Runt fan. I already see it in your face.
No, you already ruined it before, but anyway.
Oh, good. A big Runt fan, but with Runts, the reason why Runts doesn't make my list, banana Runts, tremendous. Oh my God, maybe one of the best candies ever. But some of the other ones in there I could do without. But if I can get a handful, if you ever go to a mall, sometimes in the mall, there's one of those little quarter machines that have only banana Runts. I sit there for like 20 minutes and just pop quarters in. Bing, 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 bing. It's great.
They're even the shape of little bananas to banana.
Exactly.
You don't have to be smart at all.
Right. You don't have to guess the flavor of that one. You know, these are not honorable mentions, but do you remember as a kid, they probably still have them. These are a couple that didn't make my list, but of course they're okay, but they're not good enough to make my list. You remember the wax with literally they had liquid in the wax and you would pop it and you drink the liquid.
Yeah, with a bottle. It was a little fake bottle, like tiny bottle.
Fake bottle, right? And then you chew the wax afterwards because it kind of tasted like the liquid still.
I remember.
Safe? What was it made of? Was it real wax?
I have to look it up. It's been so long.
What the hell were they selling us? I mean, they even had, I don't even know if these were candy or not. If I remember like these wax lips.
Yeah, big red ones.
But was it candy? Or was it something you just kind of like chewed on in your mouth and you weren't allowed to swallow it? I don't even remember what I remember. You were right, big red ones with almost like it had teeth or something on it too. But I don't think you were allowed to swallow it. I think you kind of just like chewed it or something. What the hell was that?
I don't know. I don't so long ago. I remember them. I don't remember if I ate them or not. And
what about you remember the little candies on the long paper thread?
Oh yeah. I mean, they used to always say that there was drugs on them.
Yes, you could. We used to do that. We used to play, which is sick. Looking back, we used to play something called Drug Bust on my block, and we used to have these things. And if you were caught with these, like it was almost like Manhunt or Tag, but we would call it Drug Bust. We'd have the cops and the druggies. Growing up in Brooklyn, this is what we did. And you know, the druggies we would give the candies to, and they would have to go run and hide. And if we caught them with the drugs on them, we'd bring them to jail.
That sounds great.
It's a good game. But those candies used to pull off the paper, but you'd eat more paper than you'd eat candy.
Oh, yeah, it was impossible.
Impossible. You'd never get a clean one off without getting paper on it.
Another problem was the candy necklace. You eat the whole thing.
Oh my, well, I mean, back to the Bordy Barn, the candy necklaces. We used to wear those to the Bordy Barn all the time, and they would be disgusting. They would be filled with sweat and beer. But midway through, you know, you're drinking all day, you're out of blow pops, you'd wind up eating your own candy necklace, and it was disgusting.
And you wear it too long in the sun, you still see like the mark where the sunburn is.
I totally forgot about candy necklaces. That's a great one. All right, so those are any more honorable mentions from you?
No, no.
All right, so let's get to our number one pick for our favorite all-time candy.
As usual, you always ruin it for me. My number one, the stick from Fun Dip.
Oh, I love it. I never knew that. I love it.
For anybody out there that doesn't know, it Fun Dip kind of looked like colored laundry soap. It was basically a pixie stick in a bag, pretty much.
Yes, yeah. It was a bag of colored sugar.
Yeah, and it came with an edible spoon thing, and that spoon thing is one of the most delicious things I've ever ate in my life.
I said it earlier. I couldn't agree more. It's a candy that tastes like nothing else. There's no other candy out there that tastes like the Fun Dip stick. And it's so funny you picked it as number one because growing up, everyone I knew, even today, like when my kids get it, they don't like the stick. Nobody likes the stick. I always wind up eating the stick after they're sucking it for an hour on their sugar. The stick is absolutely delicious.
I was trying to tell my kids about it today. They had no idea what I was talking about.
I actually got we had just had some Fun Dip not that long ago. I found it at some store and I got it for them. They loved it, but neither one of them ate the stick.
It's the greatest candy of all time.
Well, it's funny you say that as your number one because I think the thing that's closest to that flavor is my number one pick. Same color, same texture-ish, and I went with candy cigarettes.
Yep.
You remember
That's a good one.
and again, sometimes people confuse them, not the gum where you blow the smoke as sugar, which is, again, even that's sick as kids. That's what they were trying to sell us, candy cigarettes where you'd pretend you were smoking. Disgusting. But these were actually sugar sticks that almost tasted a little bit like the Fun Dip stick. But the candy cigarettes are my all-time favorite. Anytime I see them, not only do I have to get them, I buy boxes of them. They used to be like $0.25 each for the box, and they would literally come in cigarette packages, which is, again, sick. They're not called candy cigarettes anymore. I think they're just called candy sticks. I think they got rid of that whole thing on it. It used to even be red on the tip, if you remember, like it was lit.
Yeah. I remember them.
What the hell are people thinking?
I don't know, but that's a great choice. They were great.
So good. But do you agree, like it's almost in that Fun Dip stick family?
Yeah. The thing with the why I like the Fun Dip better is because the candy cigarettes, they were so thin though.
Yeah. Yeah, you used to have to pop at least 4 or 5 of them in your mouth at once.
Yeah.
But the candy cigarettes, if you let them melt in your mouth, the sugar became like pasty, almost like glue almost. It was marvelous. I think very, very good for your teeth, if I remember correctly.
Oh God. My dentist used to actually recommend I eat more candy.
What?
Because it's his business, right?
Of course. Well, that's my favorite thing with dentists. Of course, they're not doing a good job for you. They want you to come back. They don't want. I always think toothpaste probably rots your teeth, especially the ones who in the commercials say 4 out of 5 dentists choose Colgate. Yeah, that's the one that's going to give you cavities then because they want your business.
There's only one honest dentist that's saying no, this is wrong.
Exactly right. 4 out of 5 dentists choose Fun Dip. But even you mentioned the pixie sticks. Those two, they were literally straws with sugar, filled with sugar.
God.
flavored sugar, and you just popped them in your mouth. And if you weren't careful, you'd choke because they'd shoot right down your throat,
Like a shot.
like a shot. Right?
Sugar
We were,
shot.
we were practicing. We were having sugar shots back then. I mean, speaking of choking, neither one of us picked Pop Rocks.
I was not a huge fan of Pop Rocks.
You seem like someone that would be nervous with Pop Rocks.
Yeah. It's weird stuff.
Pop Rocks was good. I just, they were fun because for anyone out there that doesn't know what a Pop Rock is, it's a candy you'd literally put in your mouth, and they would start popping really strong and loud in your mouth. And I remember always hearing rumors if you swallowed them before they, dissolved in your mouth, you could die and choke to death because they would be popping in your throat.
Or that explode your stomach.
Explode your stomach, right? Or you could never drink them with soda because, of course, not that drinking soda with candy is a bad thing in general, but
I'm sure that's what we're all doing.
of course. I was just having this conversation with my wife the other day. When we were kids, there was no such thing as going to the store and buying a bottle of water. You're not buying water at the store. You're drinking it from the hose or the tap or the fountain at the playground. You could buy like a jug of water. I remember having in my house, but there were no little bottles of water. Am I crazy?
No, that's a recent thing.
That's like a 90s health thing. We didn't have water as kids. We grew up on the strong stuff. Soda, iced tea with this much powder at the bottom, lemonade, Hawaiian punch. What else did we have as kids?
It's another thing that this generation won't know that we did all the time. Hey, can I have a sip?
Always. Oh, can I get a sip of that?
Yeah. We're like, no problem.
No, of course. Out of the same straw. Never do that today. If I ever saw my kid, drink someone else's, I'd go crazy. There was a funny story. My son, we were at the McDonald's play area when my son was like, he must have been maybe just 2 years old. And there was no one in the whole play area but us. And we're playing, and the kids had their Happy Meals and stuff. And, but they had like apple juices or something with the Happy Meals. They didn't have like the McDonald's cups. And my wife looks over and she sees Joe drinking a McDonald's cup. And she starts screaming, no! Because we knew we didn't have any cups. So it must have been just some random cup left at McDonald's. Now, when we were kids, the first thing that went through my mind when you would drink something like that, and this is disgusting, but for some reason people used to put all their cigarette butts in cups like that, right?
Yep.
And then you'd see the cup with all cigarette butts in it. So that's my first reaction. But she starts screaming, what's in the cup? And I open it, and thankfully it was just like orange soda or something, but it was still disgusting because it was someone else's. She starts screaming, orange soda! And she starts screaming at the top of her lungs. It was absolute chaos, but it was one of the funniest things I've ever been a witness to. My brother-in-law was there. He was laughing so hard we thought we had to take him to the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
This is a great one, Ernie. Again, I love reminiscing on stuff. This is the type of stuff I like to do. So many candies growing up, eating, every day candy. We used to eat every day. You had candy, right?
Right before bed, even.
Right before bed, first thing in the morning. I mean, it's like no question.
At the store on the way to school.
Of course, no questions asked. Even those little quarter sugar drinks that I mentioned, it was pure sugar. You'd have one of those and a piece of candy. How could a teacher ever control you in the third grade? Forget it. Good times. Good times.
Good times.
Great episode, Ernie. Good one. You have fun?
Yep.
So as always, please, we're getting a lot of cool questions, a lot of great reviews and stuff, but always send your questions to top5withjoeycassata@gmail.com. You could always send us a message on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Send us your top 5 favorite candies growing up, or favorite candies now, or even just candies you remember. We love to hear about stuff that maybe we forgot. Tell us what you thought of our lists. But more importantly, remember the contest is live and active once this episode airs. First person to wear a top 5 with Joey Cassata t-shirt and post it on social media and tag us not only gets to pick the topic of the week, but gets to come on and guest host with us and the infamous Ernie Palooza.
Thank you.
So all you Erniemites out there, if you want to hang out with Ernie live on Zoom, buy that
Willy
t-shirt.
Wonka.
This is Appleton signing off. Great show, Ernie.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'll see you next week.